Ayo, welcome to the Best Ever Podcast. It's your boy, Mr. TRUSAV, live and direct from the Hotel Okanda. We can't be in the penthouse anymore. Shout out to my man James St. Patrick. We can't call it the penthouse anymore. There's only one person who lived in the penthouse, and we can't disparage his legacy. R.I.P. to James St. Patrick. You will be greatly missed. One of the greatest television dads of all time. So yeah, another exciting week here in Okanda. How you guys been? Staying out of trouble? I hope so. Doing everything the savage way. Yeah, we call that foreshadowing in the business. Don't worry about it. I'll come back to you. Man. I'm fresh pressed, feeling like $1,000,000. And this workout thing is addicting, y'all. I'm here to tell you. Once you start eating good, start working out, your body starts to feel like a well-oiled machine that you could just... Like right now, I'm accepting all fades. From Asgardians, Okandans, Deontay Wilders. I'm taking all fades. And not just because he lost this weekend. I had said weeks ago, or months ago, I would take Deontay Wilder's fade. I wasn't impressed. For those of you who don't know, Deontay Wilder was the heavyweight champion of the world. He's probably 6'4", 6'5", maybe 230, something like that. I'll beat his ass right now. And I'm not even in game day shape. I had said it, people thought I was crazy. Like, oh, he's the Bronx Bomber. Pumping no fear over here, buddy. And look what happened. He got whooped for Black History Month. It was not a good look for Black History Month. My man took a solid L. But that's all right, though. You win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day. I can't even be mad at the kid. At least he went out. Instead of having another fighter whose name will not be mentioned, who's undefeated but has been ducking people his whole career. But I digress. Not here to talk about sports. What we are here to talk about was the lovely week that we had here on the Best Day Ever podcast. I'm telling y'all, I'm starting to like this gym thing. Like, I'm starting to feel young again. It was as young as you can be when you're this old. But it's, the days are starting to flow a lot faster. I don't feel ancient when I get up. I don't sound like Rice Krispies. Ain't no more snap, crackle, and pop. It's just a light little twinge. Wake up, get my little stretch on, go downstairs, hit the gym, bop, bop, bop. It's a good feeling. Shout out to my man Michael motherfucking Wiggity Westside White Boy World War III, Worley. He reminded me ever so gently that if you're going to do something like this, you got to keep track of your progress. Because apparently people care. I don't really care. As long as I'm not the size of a subdivision, I'm straight. But upon better advice, I decided to start keeping track. So I'm going to take a couple of pictures. I'll do height, weight, all that type of stuff. So then when I'm sexy in my mankini out there, show y'all what time it is. And my culinary skills too are starting to get on point too. My raw fruits and vegetable cook. Well, mine and my wife. She made a fire. I think it was like some kind of avocado sauce, spinach, tomatoes, mushrooms on some garlic bread. But don't tell anybody. Fuego. If I can find the recipe, I'll post it on my Instagram because that shit was amazing. Yeah, people say they don't like eating vegetarian or vegan, but that one hit. I'm here to tell you. Speaking of the love of my life, the best thing that ever happened, Mrs. Tru Sav, she's gonna make me not like going to the gym no more. I know. So you're like, wait a minute, you just said you like going to the gym. Yes, I like going to the gym when there's weights involved. Unfortunately, she's found your boy's weakness. So back in the day, you know me, I'm a superstar athlete, the best at everything. top 5 all world. And back in the day when we used to hoop, I used to whoop on her unmercifully. Well, unfortunately, time has got the best of your boy, and that is no longer the case. So every time the weekend rolls around, I can hear it. I can hear it in her voice. I can be in the next room. She'll get up and stretch real quick. So what's up? You trying to go hoop? And I'm like, bruh, I'm kind of tired. I'm just gonna, oh, bruh, come on, let's go hoop. I'm like, man, now when I play Mario Kart, you don't want to play. I play dominoes, you don't want to play. Rummy, you don't want to play. Anything that I could whoop you in, you don't ever want to play. But you just found out that you're a little bit better than me at basketball. Now you want to hoop every weekend. A weekend hasn't gone by, y'all, since we moved into the new apartment that she hasn't wanted to go hoop. So you're like, she's sad. You should be getting better because you're practicing. Hey, I'll worry about that. And she's unmerciful too. She'll talk shit afterwards. That's the one thing that I do regret teaching her, how to talk shit. Because now all she does every time we win, don't let me say anything. I can shoot a piece of paper at the garbage can, even if I make it. She's like, you bum. She's like, how come you can't do that in real life? I'm like, damn, can you let me breathe? Jeez. But that's the savage way. Foreshadowing twice. See? Well, since I'm being silly, we're going to be a little bit more serious for a couple seconds. Another sad moment here in the Best Ever podcast. I've got some serious news to share with you guys. Recently, had to go to the doctor, like old people do. And the doctor gave me some rather disheartening news. I actually have contracted a very rare disease. And when I say rare, I mean like fewer than 200,000 cases per year, like in the United States. So this is like rare. Like, you probably never even heard of anybody having it before, which is disheartening. That is okay. So, what I have is this really weird thing. It's called misophonia? Misophonia? Something, I don't know. Yeah, and no cure. It's lifelong. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to learn how to deal with. There's no like real cure for it. So that sucks. But I'm looking at WebMD right now. Makes you feel anxious, uncomfortable, the urge to flee, disgust, some other responses, rage, anger, hatred, panic, fear, emotional distress. Yeah, it sucks. What it is, how do I describe this best? Let me just read what WebMD says. They can describe it better than I can. Misophonia is a disorder which certain sounds trigger emotional or physiological responses that some might perceive as unreasonable given the circumstances. Those who have this disease might describe it as when the sound drives them crazy. Their reaction can range from anger and annoyance to panic and the need to flee. The disorder is sometimes called selective sound sensitivity syndrome. Individuals often report they are triggered by oral sounds, the noises that someone makes when they eat, breathe, or even chew. Other voice sounds like keyboard or finger tapping, or the sound of windshield wipers. Sometimes a small repetitive motion is the cause. Someone visits, jostles you, or wiggles their feet. Yeah, I just found out they had this. I found out because my wife was chewing her goddamn food like a cow and I wanted to fucking strangle her. And I WebMD'd it and I discovered I have misophonia. So like people snapping their gum, like little tiny noises, that shit drives me up the roof. I can't take it. I don't know what it is. I can put it with anything, but I can't put it with people popping your gum, breathing hella loud. Like, I don't know. Something's wrong with me. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to y'all. It really has a disease? Yes. Me want to choke the goddamn life out of you is what it should be called. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to do that. I've been thinking about that all week. Like, it just irks, it bugs the life out of me. That's like when people chew like that or they just breathe out of their mouth in public and they're just, like, bro, you're not Darth Vader. Stop that. Okay. I'm sorry. I did not want to have to take it there. Woosah. Woosah. Oh. We did that because we were super cool. We did a date night. Bad boys for life. Ride together, die together. It's Bad Boys for Life. I don't think Bad Boys for Life is gonna make any top fives. Decent movie, had a couple funny points, but if you're expecting the OG Bad Boy, that's not what you're gonna get. You're gonna get nostalgia, a couple throwback lines. They try to incorporate some relative stuff, some cool stuff that the kids say, but for the most part, it was cool. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was cool. I didn't mind watching it, but I would never tell anyone to go watch it. I digress. I got so caught up thinking about what we did this week. It just reminded me because we went to the movie theater. We were fancy. I got dressed. Like I actually put on some jeans and a nice shirt and a nice sweater and some shoes that I didn't wear a million times at the gym. Because I'm trying to work on myself by being pretty in public. But that's what she wants. So, I digress. This weekend, I had my man Matt Hoffa come out here. He brought his wife, and we went to... There's a pop-up museum that they have out here. It's called the 90s Experience. They do a lot of pop-up stuff. Whether it be about different movies, different eras, stuff like that. This particular one was the 90s Experience. So I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know. This is one of those, my wife planned something with your wife, and now we're both going to show up and grin and be glad that we went. It was one of those situations. But those can be fun. So they showed up. We gave them the tour. We took an Uber down there to Jack London Square from a Hotel Oconda. We're a little early, so we figured, hey, we've got time. Let's go get something to eat. And we went to this restaurant right there in Jack London. I've seen it before, but I've never really gone to Jack London for anything other than to catch the Amtrak. So we've seen it. We check it out. So we go in. We're seated. Our waitress comes, give our orders. Just regular mundane stuff. Nothing exciting. When my wife had gone to the bathroom, so I ordered the food. She comes back, maybe 10 minutes later, our food shows up, and I knew something was wrong when before the waitress even put my food down. My wife was already tapping me. Hey. I had ordered, what did we order? I think we ordered guacamole and chips, some vegetable, like egg rolls, and French fries. But the kind of fries they had all kinds of accoutrements and all kinds of extra stuff. And I told her, I was like, I just want a plain side of fries, just straight fries, the least amount of salt as possible. Just holla at your boy. So I only remember that I said this because she made a hand motion, like a flat hand motion, like, you want plain fries? And I was like, yeah, just plain, like nothing on them. So she's like, all right, bet. So when she comes back, my wife can see it as soon as she puts it down. There's cheese and bacon and all types of shit on here. So I was like, yo. Excuse me, in my nicest, most polite way. I wanted the plain ones, remember? Like plain, like nothing on them. And my waitress immediately snaps at me and was like, I asked you that. Something. I was like, I apologize for the confusion. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I must have misspoke. My bad. So she storms off. So now I'm like, damn, my fries are going to get spit on. All types of shit. There goes, I don't know what they're going to do to my food. So, brings us back our food. Everything was cool. It was a bit pricey, but it was good. I mean, we needed to eat. It was right there. I might go. No, I probably wouldn't go back. If I was there, I would eat, but I wouldn't specifically go there. It didn't blow my mind. It was good though. Couldn't complain about it for sure. So we enjoyed our expensive ass meal. We left, and as we go to leave, she brings us the bill. So I go to pay the bill because she had left, and we were trying to get back to the pop-up museum because they let you in groups. So every 30 minutes they let in a new group. So we had to try to hurry up and get back before we had to wait another 30 minutes. So I'm trying to find someone to cash me out, and no one can cash me out. Like, the bartender couldn't, the manager couldn't. So he finally figures it out. I go to write the tip on the slip, and my wife is over my shoulder and is like, "You better not give her a good tip either." And I was just like, "Why?" Because her service was terrible. And this. And I was like, I mean, she's a waitress at some no-name place that we've never even heard of. Like, is it that serious? Like, you just this is where you draw the line? So I think I gave her like a $20 tip, which was way more than 15%. I think it was more than 20% tip too. Now that I think about it, and my wife almost lost it. Why would you give her that much? And it's like, man, it just doesn't bother me that much. Like, whatever. I'll probably never see this person again. Like, I don't feel the need to stiff the wait staff because whatever. You feel like her service wasn't that great. I mean, we ordered appetizers. No one really ordered any drinks. Like, what's the deal? I just wasn't tripping. Apparently, it was me. I don't know. So we get to the 90s experience, and they let us in, and there was a trivia room display, something. I don't know how to describe it. You walked in and it looked like the set of a game show. Red buzzer, 3 different stands, said 90s trivia behind us. And at first we tried to walk right past it. We were just like, oh, we're going to go look at the thing. He's like, oh, we have to play this game first. So we're like, oh, okay. Like, whatever. So me and Matt Hoffa, we were chilling. We're just sitting in the back. My wife and his wife are uber competitive. Like, there is no, oh, it's just going to be a friendly game. Like, no. Everything is competitive. Like, we're keeping score. Who's first, who's second, who's third, who's last. Like, I don't know what their deal is, but they just can't take any type of competitive situation lightly. So we get in, and he's asking, relatively simple questions. What were the 5 colors of the original Power Rangers? What was this person's dog's name on such and such TV show? Like, what channel was it on? Stuff like that. I had no clue what was going on. I was chilling. I'm just hanging out. So next thing I know, we're in last place. I think the group to the right of us had 3 points, and then the young ladies to our left had 3 points. And that's when they turned it on. They just started hitting the buzzer. Like, he wouldn't even get the question all the way out. They would just hit the buzzer and then turn around and look and be like, who knows the answer? I was like, bro, you can't hit the buzzer and not know the answer. Like, you got to hit the buzzer with some kind of idea of what's going on. And they were like, nah, fuck that. Like, we're going to win. So through I would say through sheer willpower, but only one of us got the correct answer, and that was me. I must have got, I think you had to get 5 right. I think I got 3 or 4 of them right. And I wasn't even playing. They would just hit the buzzer and then turn around and look at me and be like, what's the answer? Like, I don't know, bro. The only question I do remember, there's 2 questions I remember. The one to put us in the first place was, what color was the original PlayStation logo? That was red. That was easy. I'm surprised that no one knew that. Then after you got a 5th question, you had to get a bonus question right. And that means you won the game. The bonus question was, what year did some sort of math game come out on the internet? Now that was a tough one because I had no idea what the answer was. But what I did know was what year the internet came out. Because it was 96, 97 because I had AOL. And before that, it was Netscape. So I knew it wasn't Netscape because that wasn't the internet. So it had to be 96 or 97. So I was like, 97? The guy kind of paused and he blew up. You're right. So now the people around us are really pissed because we were in dead last place and we came back and rattled off like 6 answers to get it right. Hey, what can I say? I'm the shit and you know it. So after we won the trivia game, you got to go into another part of the museum where they had different scenes from TV shows set up. So it had a room that had Space Jam, and it had, or not even a room, it was a wall with the exact same decorations as that TV show. So there was the Matrix cover where it had the 3 guys and the numbers, the ones and the zeros. Then it had Space Jam. It had like a basketball hoop with the little jerseys. There was one with the Friends setup. So it had like the fountain and it had the couch and the little umbrellas. Saved by the Bell. It had, oh my gosh, that's not normal. I'm forgetting. It had like a payphone. It had Forrest Gump. I posted some pictures from this weekend. There was the bench with Forrest Gump. Life is like a boxer. There was, the Big and Tupac one. There was a picture with like the crown for Big and the West Side for Pac. Oh, but my favorite by far, the Fresh Prince one. That was the picture. I took a picture of that sitting in the Fresh Prince chair. That was tight. I like that. That was cool. There wasn't really a lot to do. It was really just taking pictures in front of the little thing. Oh, the Simpsons one. So the Simpsons one was an orange couch in the middle of, it was in front of the, oh my gosh. It was an orange couch in front of the same display that the Simpsons household was. So it had like the little walkway to the kitchen, the painting on the wall, it had the phone, all that. And the guide, or the guy there would hold your phone and then you would run to the couch from both sides and you would like flop on the couch like they would do on The Simpsons. And like everyone was doing that. It was cool. I think it was like $20. It was, again, a bit pricey, but if you grew up watching that stuff in the 90s, it was cool to do it. Like I was too cool for school when we first got there. Like, oh, I don't want to do this. But I mean, once you're there and you're like, okay, I remember this. Because I mean, for me, I was in high school, middle school in the 90s, so and I didn't watch Friends. Or, there was a couple of what was the other one? There was like a bed with Backstreet Boys, and it looks like, I want to say it looks like the bed from the Britney Spears album. I can't remember, but it was cool. You got to take pictures and be silly, whatnot. And it was about a half hour, 40 minutes. And then you got to watch other people do silly stuff. It was cool. I mean, I would have never gone by myself because I am just not that well versed in Groupon or even that little button on Facebook. Where is it? Events near you. Nah, the only event is this Madden that's about to pop off. But I'm becoming more worldly. The missus is getting me out of the house, making me dress up for stuff. So it was cool. If you have a chance to go, check it out. It's $20, maybe 30, 40 minutes of your time. Get some cool pictures. I know I want to get that Fresh Prince one blown up on the chair. Now they have the Black Panther pop-up one. Oh, Lord. Again, more foreshadowing. I'm getting good at this. This whole foreshadowing thing is something else. So that was my weekend. Well, actually, that wasn't the weekend. I just remembered. When we ended up leaving, because Jack London is, Jesus Christ, it's like 5 miles? No, it's like 3 miles from the house. And originally we were going to walk. We were like, who wants to walk 3 miles there and then 3 miles back? Like, that's just not popping. That's not what we're going to do. What did happen was we caught an Uber back. And nothing out of the ordinary. My man pulls up in the Prius. Beep, beep. We get in. When we get in, the first thing the Uber driver said was like, okay, like, everybody put your seatbelts on. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. Bam, put my seatbelt on. I'm chilling. We're just still kind of sitting there. He's like, yeah, 2 more. I'm like, is the Uber really going to press us about not wearing our seatbelts? And so then, like, because on the display in the car, it says, like, who doesn't have their seatbelt on? So then in my mind, I'm like, is he really going to kick us out of the car if we don't put our seatbelts on? Like, I mean, technically it's the law. You have to wear your seatbelt when you're driving. I've never had an Uber say that to me before. So it was kind of this awkward silence for a second. Like, is my man really about to press us over the seat? And he was. I mean, but everyone was cool. We just put our seatbelts on. And he ended up being pretty cool. He cracked a couple jokes. He was listening to our conversation. He was a cool dude. But I'm here to tell you, that was a very awkward 30, 45 seconds. I thought they were going to put their seatbelts on, and I thought we were just going to call another Uber, or it was going to be an issue or something. It was bad. But good times, good times. It was a lot of tension that Saturday too. We did the museum. We leave, come home, walk the children, let them get their little exercise. We go to Costco to get fruits and vegetables for the week, whatnot. We're in Costco having a good old time, laughing, joking. So whenever we're in Costco, I never go to the lines like in the aisle because that's just what everyone does. Like, oh, I'll just stand here in line. So I always break off to like to the right or the left, try to catch someone in the line with like 1 or 2 people. So luckily, I have my wife with me, so I see a short line. I can't maneuver through all the oversized baskets. So I'm like, hey, go jump in that line right there. There's only like one person. So bam, she does a little shimmy, hits him with a quick release, gets in line. As she's walking up, she's maybe 5 steps in front of this other guy that was walking from the other direction. And so, because he didn't have a basket with him, so I was kind of confused because I'm watching just in case something pops off. I got to DDT somebody. So she walks up, bam, gets in front of him. So I walk up. I don't say anything. I can see the look on his face. I can see he's upset, but he hasn't said anything, so I'm just going to chill. I don't say anything. I push up with the cart. We've only got like 6 or 7 things. My man turns around in Costco and at the top of his lungs starts yelling at his wife. I'm not even like, I'm upset and I'm talking to you. Like, I'm talking about top of his lungs. What the fuck is wrong with you, Lisa? See, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Now we're not in fucking line because you took so good. I was like, yo, babe, go ahead and get in the front of the cart. Because if he says something else crazy, I'm going to smack him. Like, I'm going to backhand the life out of you. Like, what is wrong with you? Who are you yelling at? Even if it is your wife, why are you yelling at your wife like that in public? Something is wrong with you. You got a couple screws loose, and I'm going to smack them back in place. So now he's sitting there yelling at her. The whole time he's yelling at her, he's not paying attention. 2 more people that got in line behind us. So now they're 3 deep in line. And the whole store is laughing at him because it's like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, we had 6 things. Like, it wasn't like I pulled up with a flatbed full of stuff. Like, we had a couple things like you could have been done. But hey, far be it for me to try to explain to dude why he was wrong for yelling at his wife. That's not my business. So we get our stuff, bam, 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 get the kids some hot dogs because they're $1. It's a win-win. So we get them their dinner, hop in the whip, slide to the house. Oh, but the day was not done. I thought we were done. My wife, because she is the best wife ever, the best thing that ever happened, decided that we're going to double down on the excitement on a Saturday. So not only are we going to go to the 90s experience, but we're going to a play. What play are we going to, you ask? Beauty and the Soouullful Beast. Yes, not Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Soouullful Beast. I didn't mind. I like art. I like the arts, I should say. It was a live action play, obviously. It wasn't a movie. It was a local theater. Let me see if I can get this right. It was the Black Repertory Performance Cast. I'm sorry. The Black Repertory Theater is where it was at. Jesus Christ. The Black Repertory Group I'm sorry. That's what it's called. The Black Repertory Group, which had the Black Repertory Performance Cast. They were located, if you ever want to go, at 3201 Adeline Street, Berkeley, California, 94703. 56 years of uninterrupted service. They had some heavy hitters on the wall, boy. Aretha Franklin, Della Reese, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Ali. Who else was up there? Angela Davis was on there. There were so many people that there was people I didn't even know. Like, I felt bad. Like, I need to step my game up. There were so many famous people too, not just people that were local legends, stuff like that. People, they're from Oakland, and like, no, these were, which is even more embarrassing that I can't think of their names right now. I got to step my game up. This is embarrassing. But I digress. That'll be for another time. We'll talk about my lack of knowledge about this. So we get to the Black Repertory Group presents Beauty and the Sooullful Beast. Doors open at 7. We get there about 7:55, and I thought it was going to be like a theater. It was probably 150 seats. Not bad. So we go to the refreshment stand and get our refreshments, get ready. They had a VIP line, which are the people, I guess the first 3 rows were reserved for them. The other 7 were for us regular folk. So they get us in there. We get seated. Bam. Show starts promptly at 8:12. Like any respectable black event. Not too late, but 12 minutes. Fashionably late. The curtains come up. And the cast is up there. There is an elderly gentleman in a tuxedo who apparently is the Beast. There's 4 Caribbean-inspired dancers. There's 4 young ladies who look like they're barely of high school age. And a mishmash of other people who appear to be dressed like they're in a 17th century castle. Which is weird because there's Caribbean dancers. But that's fine. It's theater. It's the theater. So the first thing, the play starts, and how do I describe this? It was an urban reimagining of Beauty and the Beast. One of the things that struck me as weird, before the show started, the first thing the guy said was, "Oh, and feel free to sing along whenever the songs come on." So I'm like, oh, okay, word. This is going to be Beauty and the Beast. No. This is Beauty and the Sooullful Beast. They are on stage. So the first scene, opening act, they're apparently having a party. The Beast is some sort of suave, debonair, geriatric something. The witch comes, turns him into the Beast. Belle's father, who was supposed to be Mauricio, was played by a woman who had 2 other daughters who were married to these dudes. I'm just going through this really fast because I've got something else to get you. I didn't record it, but I promise you it was worth it. So just quick synopsis of everything. Same thing. He lets her go. Belle comes back in her place. The Beast is really rude. He gives Belle the key to his treasures. She comes back. The mom's other children's husbands try to rob the Beast. The Beast and him get into a sword fight. Now, I'm laughing because anytime the Beast was on stage, there was like a low snarl. So it was, even if the Beast wasn't talking or he wasn't involved, he would do this weird snarl. So other characters would be talking, and all you would hear would just be. So it was throwing me off. It threw everyone off, really, because it was like, why is he growling? And the action's over here, but it's the theater. That's fine. So finally, Belle says she loves the Beast. The Beast turns back into his 60-year-old self. But Belle was still like 20-something, so this was kind of weird. but whatever. It's a theater. Oh, I forgot to mention. This was 2.5 hours. There was 2 intermissions. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It was hilarious because it was like the real movie of Beauty and the Beast isn't even an hour and a half. So how did you manage to squeeze 2.5 hours into here? And then the songs that they were singing weren't the songs from Beauty and the Beast. Like, it was some songs that they had made up. So when they would start singing the songs, like, we were looking at each other like, is this Be Our Guest? Like, what are we supposed? There was me and another lady in the row in front of us who, for at least a good 5 minutes, were just cracking up, like hand in, face in hand, like couldn't breathe. Like, I know the people on the stage had to hear me because I was dying. It was good. Well, it was interesting to watch them perform their rendition of Beauty and the Sooullful Beast. I mean, it was local theater. I'm not going to pretend like it was Hamilton or some off-Broadway play. It was a nice local, oh my goodness, a nice local retelling of a 4,000-year-old story. It was cool. It was definitely entertaining. They earned my $10 worth. So after the show, everyone comes out, takes a bow, we cheer, stuff like that. And that was the weekend. That was probably the most exciting weekend I've had in a long time. Beauty and the Sooullful Beast. And the craziest part about it is that the picture that they have on the front of the card that says Beauty and the Sooullful Beast is like a Broadway style play like picture. It has Belle in the classic getup. It has spoons, forks, knives, the candlestick. It has all of that dancing around. And when you get there, well, none of that popping. But I support local stuff. I enjoyed myself. They had a good time, and it's hard to find people who, I'm sure they're doing that for free. Like, I'm absolutely positive no one is paying them to be there. But it was cool. Support your local theater. I mean, it made their day. Because when I left, I bigged up everybody. Like, good job. You guys were amazing. Hoot, hoot, hoot. And even if they believed me or not, like, I thought they did good. I couldn't have did it. So, I mean, as funny as it was to watch, I couldn't have done it myself. So, I enjoyed it. And the Sooullful Beast. I should have recorded. And then they had the nerve to say, there's no recording of this. Like, where am I going to record this and play this? It's not standing room only to get in here. Like, but I get the point. The Sooullful Beast. So last week, I had some work went by pretty fast last week. We didn't. I had the Saturday off, so I really only worked 4 days. And on the Friday before I left, I saw something very interesting. Because we're here in Oconda, and we are sharing the land with some new people. Some new people are moving here. Some people don't like them. Some people do. I'm indifferent. I don't really care. But there was for the purpose of the story, we will be talking about race. Not in that kind of way, but just as a gentle description. See, I'm so smart. I hide stuff from myself. Like, I hide stuff. I'm like, oh, I'll always think that it's right there. And then I forget it. And then I just find it like right now. Sorry about that. Anyway, I digress. I'm walking through the store and there's 2 Caucasian ladies. And one of the ladies has on a Black Panther sweater. And so I was like, oh, okay. She's down for the cause, apparently. So I'm like, hey, nice sweater. I said, oh, thank you. I was like, I mean, not to be that guy or anything, but do you know who founded the Black Panther Party? And I knew as soon as I said it, I shouldn't have said it. Immediately, as soon as I said it, because her friend looks at me, it gives me this kind of half smile, and then immediately looks at her and was like, "Yeah, Becky, why don't you tell us who the founders are?" And I was like, "Uh-oh, I just got involved in some sort of argument that they were already having, and this is uncomfortable." So Becky looks at me and she goes, "The founders of who?" I was like, "Well, you know, your sweater, the Black Panther Party, that we're in Wakanda, and that's where it started. Like, it's a pretty big deal for not only California history, but I mean, United States history. I mean, you have the sweater on. Do you know who founded it?" And she stops for a second, thinks about it. And I was like, "Look, I tell you what, I have got to get something at the end of this aisle. I'm going to go to the end of the aisle and I'll come back. And then maybe you can tell me." So I go to the end of the aisle slowly. I come back. I'm like, "Well, did you figure it out?" And I guess she thought I wasn't coming back. Like, she was like, oh, you're back. I was like, "Yeah. Do you know?" And she's like, I think one of them is like Huey Newton or something. I was like, "Okay, that's correct. That's one. Who's the other guy?" I don't really know. And I was like, "Bobby Seale. Bobby Seale would be the correct answer." So I'm in. And then it was awkward because it was like, you have on this sweater of this group, but then you don't know who was in the group. And it was even more awkward because when you wear a sweater like that, what you're basically saying is, I'm down with this group. I know something about it. And for you to not even know who the founders were. Ow. Well, and then technically there was a third person. The third person, if you don't know, is Elbert Howard. But he's rarely talked about. But for the purposes of this argument, we will say there was three. Huey, Bobby, and Elbert. So her friend, as she walks off dejected, her friend kind of shoots me a smile like, "Thank you." Because I'm pretty sure she told her the same thing, like, "Why are you wearing that if you don't even really know what that means?" That's embarrassing for all of us. So I kept it to myself. I was like, that was an odd interaction. So I go to the break room, and there is the same guy I talked about last week. The guy I lost the money to for the bet. And I'm kind of laughing to myself, and he's like, "What's wrong?" Or he's like, "What's so funny?" I was like, "Yeah, I just saw this lady outside. She had a Black Panther sweater on, and she didn't know who the founders of the Black Panthers were. Can you believe that?" Now, when I said that, there was about 4 people in the break room when I said this. And they all just kind of froze and just looked at me. And I realized in that moment, I was like, "Oh, you guys don't know who the founders are, do you?" Oh, I mean, I was like, "Wait. You guys are from Wakanda, California, and you don't know who the Black Panthers are? Like, you, what, huh, wait, wait. How is that possible?" Like, it hurt my head to even think about. Like, how are you? I know. So I kind of composed myself, and I was like, "Well," I asked everyone in the room, like, "Does anyone know?" And I got to one young lady, and her answer was even funnier because she thinks that my wife is white, which, I mean, would be irrelevant anyway. My wife is mixed, but I had told her something that my wife had said one day, and she's like, "Your wife is white, isn't she?" So I played along. I said, sure she is." "Oh, I knew it. I didn't feel like arguing that day, so I didn't ask her why she thought my wife was white, but I just left it at that. So I asked her, I was like, "Hey, you know, you're super pro-black, like, you're black this and black that, and why don't the black men?" I was like, "So who started the Black Panthers?" "I don't have time for your quiz show questions at work." And I was like, "You don't know, do you?" "Oh, Mrs. Back to Africa, you must got a white wife because you go on vacation, so you don't know who started it." So to make this even funnier, there just happened to be a Caucasian coworker of ours who just happened to be walking by the break room, and I was like, "Hey, yo, do you know who started the Black Panther Party on cue? Oh, Huey Newton, Bobby Seale." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Oh, I'm from San Diego." I was like, "So you're telling me that the white guy from San Diego knows who started the Black Panthers, but the 5 black people from Oakland don't?" All of your kinfolk ain't your kinfolk. Now, while this doesn't really have any major effect on my day-to-day life, I brought this up for a reason. In my other life, back in the early days of Tru Sav, I was really into the whole, black people got to stick together. We got to do this for our people, and this and this and this. The white band had done us so bad, and this and this and this, and other people, yada, yada, yada. And when I got older, I realized I didn't really feel like that. And what I mean is, just like when I was in Bakersfield and I had told the guys that I work with that, you guys don't hang out with anybody who's black or anybody who's white. You only hang out with Hispanic people because those are your people, right? Like you said. They're like, yeah. I was like, well, has anyone Hispanic ever stolen from you? They're like, well, yeah. Has anyone Hispanic ever lied to you, cheated you out of some shit? They're like, well, yeah. It's like, well, maybe the problem isn't black people or white people. Maybe the problem is just certain people that are pieces of shit. Maybe that's the problem. And they were like, yeah, maybe that's the thing. And that's the conclusion I had came to those years ago. Whenever you put yourself in a situation where you're saying you're only going to deal with a certain group of people, you just made it that much easier to be taken advantage of. Because now someone who is within that group who wants to get over knows that they've got a free reign to do what they want. Because, I fit in this certain group. So now if someone's going to take advantage, it's going to be me because they're not going to let an outsider in. So why not be me? Which, awkwardly enough, is what happened to my dad when we had started the Black Chamber of Commerce from the ground up. Like, we bought the chairs, the phones, the calendars, like from zero. Like, we rented the office space. Like, we did all of that. For him to be voted out, I think, 10 years later? Because once people saw it was profitable and once people saw all the benefits to being in a position of power in the organization, all of a sudden, we had a vote and you're out. So it wasn't the man who turned on us. It wasn't the Hispanic people. It wasn't the Asian people. It was the people that we were trying to build up ended up turning on us. And again, if race relations is your number one thing, God bless you. I hope it works out for you. I hope nothing like I just described happens to you. But the chances are it probably will. And again, I'm not here to talk about race. That's not the point of why I'm saying this. The point of why I'm saying this is because, like last time, I had told you I had a very big secret for you. I've been holding on to it for months. And it finally came to fruition. This is a serious one. Like, I'm not joking like before. I'm being 100% serious. In, April of last year, before I had ever even done an episode, before I had hit record on anything, I realized that there was someone pretending to be me. And I didn't particularly care for that because I've worked very hard to, establish my brand as your boy, Mr. TRUSAV. So I was very displeased to find out that someone was taking credit where it was not due. So what I did, because I'm not a very vindictive person. I am Professor Petty, but I'm not very vindictive. So what I decided to do was I went to the Patent and Trademark Office. And what I did was I got my name trademarked. My name being Tru Sav. So it took about 8 months, but I actually am now on record with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, as the one and only Tru Sav. Yay! Congratulations! So what this means is that I am now the licensed owner of the word Tru Sav, the phrase, all of that. So I can put it on t-shirts, and it'll be trademarked. I'm the only person who can sell it. I can now get verified on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that, because I have all the paperwork. That's me. That's your boy. So, that was the good news. It's been about 8 months, 9 months, but yeah, the government now recognizes me as the one and only Tru Sav. So there's going to be some very sad people on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's another guy in North Carolina too. I see you, buddy. I see you. You will be getting some very crucial mail in a little bit. But that's why I'm so excited to do today's episode. Because I thought to myself, now that you are the one and only Tru Sav, for at least for the next 10 years, that's when my trademark runs out. So, yeah, feel free to design your own Tru Sav shirts. But, of course, be able to send them in to the Best Day Ever Podcast at gmail.com. And we will do all the legal stuff and get you going. But, yeah, so excited. It feels so good. So remember earlier when I was talking about foreshadowing, there is a phrase that one of the savages uses. It's called the savage way. Whenever he does a workout or has something inspirational to say or just post a video of back in the day, he always puts the savage way. And I know some of you, I've gotten a few emails, some comments on videos, and you ask like, well, how can I be a savage? So I took a little bit of time. I thought about when I was on vacation too. And I came up with a couple of things. Well, not a couple. I came up with 10. I couldn't do 5. There was way too many for there to be 5. So we will call it 10 rules to living the savage way. Insert music, drum roll. The savage way. Okay. Most important part. This isn't even a rule. This is just a prerequisite. Anyone can be a savage. Man, woman, child, pet, whatever. And I said this because just like I was talking about all your skin folk ain't your kinfolk, whenever you make a group and it's based on race, religion, a specific color, neighborhoods, things tend to go awry. It's already difficult enough to get like-minded people in a group for a specific goal. But when you start including people based on arbitrary things like we just mentioned, it makes it just that much more difficult. There are savages from different states. There's white ones, black ones, red ones, brown ones, different religious beliefs. Some came from 2-parent households, some came from single-parent households, some came from affluent neighborhoods, some didn't. That's what made our group so interesting, was our diversity not only in beliefs but in backgrounds. This, coupled with the fact that we just didn't give a fuck. I don't want to say we were outcasts, because some of us weren't. Some wanted to fit into the cookie cutter boxes that society says that you're supposed to fit into, and that's fine. No one got picked on because you wanted to do this or you wanted to do that. We stuck together because we all had one thing in common. And that one thing that we had in common was a certain je ne sais quoi. Which is French for I don't know what. In all honesty, I think the thing that kept us together was that we were all very confident in who we were as individuals. And that's easy to spot in younger people, especially adolescents. Like, a lot of times people are very self-conscious. They have a hard time relating to other people. And I feel like we all got along because we had a belief in ourselves. Like, we all knew we were the shit. We'd gained confidence, whether through sports, through academics, through our peers. And so when we came together, there was no weak link in the chain. And if someone did have something that they were maybe insecure about, or something that they needed to work on, like, for example, to this day, I have little to no swagger. I dress like a homeless person. Like, I do. I just do. It wasn't something that I was necessarily self-conscious about, because kids are going to talk. That's what they do. But I was still accepted into the group because of that. One of the other originals, he wasn't as wild as we were. Like, we were wild. We were stay out past curfew, doing little petty stuff wild. But he didn't. And over time, he became like that. Well-mannered. There were some of us that we were savages, so we were just out there with it. There were different traits that we learned from each other. We weren't even really a group. Like, we were more looking out for each other and looking out for each other's best interests. And that not only grew with us, but other people could see it. So as a group, when we were together, we weren't out. We would have, what's the word I'm looking for? We would be mischievous youths. Nothing too serious. I mean, we weren't breaking into houses or stuff. We would do silly stuff. Throw eggs at people, throw water balloons, stuff like that. But even when we would come to different parties or different functions, like, the aura that we put off as a group was, we're here to have a good time. We're not here to pick on people. We're not here to bully people, try to take stuff from people. That wasn't what you got from us. So that's why we had the sort of numbers that we had, because when people would see us and they saw how we treated people, they would want to be down with that. Because no one wants to. People deal with the bully, but in reality, they want to see the bully get his ass beat. We were the exact opposite. We were, hey, we're here to have a good time. We want everyone to have a good time, and this rubbed off, and this is why we were around as long as we were. And this is why someone is pretending to be me, which is why we even had to do this episode. So, back to business. Top 10. I like that one. Top 10. How to live the savage way. Again, most important thing. Anybody can be a savage. Man, woman, child. We already talked about that. There is no requirement. We are similar to this doctor. You might have heard of him. I think his name was Martin something King. I can't remember. He says where you have to judge people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I mean, let's see. There's some women savages, some white ones, some Hispanic ones, some Asian ones, a couple Jewish ones in there. I don't know if we have any Palestinian ones. That might be an issue. But that's the number one thing, is that anybody, we don't discriminate. We don't have any bylaws or a hidden agenda, unless you're an asshole. Well, I'm an asshole, but you know what I mean. If you're just an out and out bad person, we don't want you. You're not welcome here. You said what? It's what? Oh, so I've got good news and I've got bad news, guys. The good news is I have a top 10 of the savage way. If you want to be a savage, I've got a good top 10 for you. But the bad news is our time here is up and I've got to go. So what we will do is next week, I'm not even going to talk about work. I'm not even going to talk about how my week went, anything like that. I'm just going to hop straight into it. Top 10 how to be. Let's see. Can I give you one? Just one? Okay, I'll give you one. 1 out of 10 is not bad, 10%. Okay. Number 9. You got to be confident. And we're going to talk about confidence and all that type of stuff next time on the Best Day Ever podcast because I've got to go. It is really early Monday morning and I've got to go to work and we are just at an hour because I'm a professional. I have the first draft of the first ever Tru Sav t-shirt. I have the artwork. It's kicking it in my inbox right now. Again, shout out to you guys. I got 3 or 4 different artists online. Again, big bucks. I pay up front. The guy, it was actually kind of weird. He was surprised because usually when you commission someone, there's this weird thing of a lot of people want you to draw it first and then they want to pay you regardless of if they like it or not. And I cash app dude the money and he was just like, wait, what? You sent me the money up front? I was like, I mean, you're an artist. You're on an artist page. You can't really burn me because if you burn me, you burned yourself. So he's like, oh, I'll get it to you as soon as possible. I was like, no. Take your time. I'd actually prefer if you mailed it to me so I can have the original so I can put it up on the wall because we're a high-class organization over here at the Best Day Ever podcast. Again, if you know any artists, musicians, anything like that, send them to me at thebestdayeverpodcast@gmail.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TRUSAV comedy. Follow, like, subscribe, all that fun type of stuff. And let's see. Best Ever Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, yeah. No one told you this week. I believe in you. I know the best things are going to happen to you and only you. And I love all of y'all. Because I can't get yesterday back. I might not get tomorrow. So that makes today the best day ever. I'm going to holler at y'all. Top 10. How to be this. Or no, I'm sorry. Fuck. I fucked it up. How am I going to fuck up the outro? Top 10. What is that? Top 10. How to live the savage way? How to be a savage? I don't know. We'll figure it out next week.